Last time I shared 5 true horror stories about Labubu dolls that left many of you asking the same question. Why do they smile like that? Tonight we go deeper. These are 5 more terrifying tales. And this time the dolls didn't just smile. They moved. They bled. They blinked. My name's the Tales Keeper. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, well, click that button and notification bell so you don't miss more horror stories like these. Now let us begin. Shall we? Story 1. The one that blinked Mina was a content creator who loved filming toy hauls and cute desk setups. Her latest obsession? Labubu dolls. She lined up 5 of them on her shelf, centered behind her streaming mic. Her audience loved them. Until one day someone commented, "Wait, did that one just blink?" Mina laughed it off. It was just a shadow, right? She rewatched the footage. At 2:46 in, clear as day, her pastel green Labubu doll blinked. Not slowly, not like a glitch. Just one smooth, crisp blink, like a real eye, shutting and opening. She paused the frame. Full freeze. Her heart dropped, because the blink wasn't just movement. The smile widened too. The doll was different from the others. No factory tag, just a sticker on the box that said, "One of a kind." That night she placed the doll in a drawer and locked it. The next morning it was sitting back on the shelf, blinking. But this time, its head was tilted toward the camera. Story 2. The one whose eyes kept falling out. Julia was a serious collector. Mint condition only. No bootlegs, no damage, no dust. So when the eyes on her limited edition monochrome, Labubu, started falling out, she was furious. She reattached them with craft glue. Next morning, back on the floor. She tried hot glue, super glue, even epoxy. Didn't matter. Each night she heard plinking noises on her wooden floor. Each morning the eyes were under the bed or near her pillow. After a week, she gave up. Let it stay eyeless. That night, she woke up with a jolt. Something cold and wet touched her forehead. She turned on the lamp. The doll was in her bed, its empty eye sockets staring straight at her. And next to her head were 2 glass eyes, but they weren't the doll's. They were green, just like hers. A note lay between them. "He wants new ones." Story 3. Room to room. Evan didn't believe in cursed dolls. He bought a Labubu on a dare from a friend. Yellow fur, big teeth, 1 broken ear. It looked dumb but harmless. He put it in the guest room. Next morning it was on the kitchen counter. He figured someone moved it. That night he locked the guest room door. Next day it was sitting on the toilet lid in the bathroom. Evan was living alone. The 3rd night he put it in a shoebox, wrapped it in rope, and shoved it under his bed. At 3:21 a.m., he heard something scratching across the floor. He looked down. The box was still there. But the Labubu wasn't. He found it in the hallway. Standing up, arms down, facing the front door, waiting. He moved out that week. But 2 months later, the landlord sent him a photo. "Hey, did you leave this?" It was the doll, sitting in the living room again, smiling at the window. Story 4. The one with the spirit-attached lies was a medium. Not the theatrical kind, the real deal. She ran a spiritual cleansing shop, crystals, herbs, handmade charms. A client gifted her a Labubu as thanks. She chuckled and set it on her altar. That night, her smoke offering burned black. Her candle cracked in half, and her pendulum wouldn't stop spinning. She thought it was interference, until she picked up the doll and heard whispers, not words, just voices, layered, faint, like they were inside cotton. She did a reading. cleared her space. When she put her hand over the doll, her fingers went numb. The next morning, there were scratches on her floor. Not claw marks, symbols, old ones, binding glyphs. That evening, the doll was gone. But when she went to lock up for the night, it was outside, sitting on her welcome mat, holding a dried-out flower. From her altar, she burned sage for 7 hours straight. The final story. Story 5, the one that cried blood. Kim was a student living in a dorm. She kept her Labubu dolls on a floating shelf above her bed, 5 in total, but her favorite was a pale blue one with floppy ears and a smug grin. She called him Mo. One night she woke up to something dripping. She thought the ceiling was leaking. She reached up. Her hand came back red. She turned on her lamp. Blood. Fresh. And Mo was leaning forward on the shelf, head tilted down. Beneath both glass eyes were thick crimson trails. She screamed. Her roommate thought it was a prank. But every night after, it happened again. The RA told her to remove the dolls, so she boxed them up and sent them home. Problem solved. Until her mom called the next day, voice shaking. "Kim, why is there blood on the box?" You thought the first stories were strange, just whispers in the dark, glitches of the mind. But these new ones, they bleed, they blink, they remember your name. So if you own a Labubu doll, check where it is before you sleep, and again when you wake up. If it's not where you left it, it never was. I've been the tale's keeper, and if your doll ever cries, moves, or listens when it shouldn't, it might not be yours anymore. Sleep tight, if it lets you.